Hey everyone, I just read The Magician King by Lev Grossman, and that was cancer. This is the second book in a row where a human woman has transformed into a mythical creature after a traumatic event, and I'm not saying it's a fetish, but it is a pretty big coincidence. It's a book, unfortunately, about Quentin Coldwater, now a king of Fillory, who finds himself on a quest to save not only that world, but all magic in every world after meeting back up with his old friend Julia. The pros? I still can't stand Quentin as a character, so it was great this time to have a second point of view to offset his persecution complex in Julia. She definitely had her own problems, but it was much easier to empathise with her throughout the novel, and they both acted as a break from the other whenever one got too annoying. I still really like the setting, and the fact so much more of this book was set in fantasy worlds like Fillory was a huge improvement over the first one. And I liked the way the narrative was structured, how Quentin's chapters were a direct continuation of The Magician's, while Julia's took place at the same time as that first novel, and how the conflict of one half feeds directly into the conflict of the other. The cons? That said, like in The Magician's, there is a huge, massive plot going on in the background that most of the characters are only passive observers to, and I would much rather experience this plot from someone active in the narrative, and especially someone who isn't Quentin. I'm not asking for much, I just want to know what the basic conflict is before getting 3/4 into the freaking book. I get that it's trying to be literary, but the style only works for Julia's half of the book. The rest needed more. For example, it needed a proper villain. There are characters who could have potentially fulfilled that role, but like the Beast from the previous book, they all get one scene at best, and too little characterization to be considered antagonists. And the scene with Renard the Fox was just so awful and immature. It felt like the author went, well, this is fantasy for adults, so it has to have adult things like sex and abuse, and it just came off as edgy and try-hard. Shocking for the sake of shock value when the same outcome could have been achieved without that element. This book was crap. There is a good story somewhere here, but this book is not the way to tell it. It is an edgy teen's idea of what dark fantasy should be, and I would not recommend it at all. It's getting an F for fuck off. No regrets. What did you think of the book? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're there, why not leave a suggestion for what I should read next? I promise I'll get to it eventually. If you liked the review and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and share the video around. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.